Good evening, everyone. Thanks for attending another hour of the Growth Hour. Um, we are always glad to have everyone aboard and everybody attend. It is our objective to educate and help ourselves and everybody grow. Um, Tonight, the topic is going to be help for your incarcerated loved ones and a lot of faucets. It's not going, we're going to speak on law. We're going to speak on how they can, how they can conduct themselves or how they should conduct themselves for prison, amongst other things. We're going to speak on, we're going to share with you someone that you can retain that we definitely trust. The Reinvention Center and Breaking Silence, among other people, definitely trust as a private investigator. We do not feel that, that you will be, just taken advantage of if you were to hire this private investigator. And this is why we support and endorse this private investigator because of that. With that being said, before we go to pay some bills, as they say, and make some other announcements, I would like to acknowledge Lisa Riley, who is one of the secretaries of the Reinvention Center, as well as the founder of Breaking Silence. How you doing, Ms. Riley?
I'm good, thank you.
Do you care to give everybody some information about your background and all that stuff? Yeah,
I'm sorry. Wait, we should have practiced that. Yeah, I'm Lisa Riley. I'm a little bit of everything, I guess. An activist. I'm trying to do a little reentry, and I'm going hard on the fundraisers. I have to say thank you to everyone that has donated to our fundraiser, which is the car detailing certificate. We're going strong and it's going well. So everyone, thank you so much. We're going to keep at it. But I think you guys are wonderful. This is going to be a great show. So I'm not going to talk anymore because I'm excited to listen.
All right. I definitely appreciate your input. Before I move on, I want to hey, come on back, brother. Ain't no sense of hiding. Ain't no sense of hiding. I would like for introduce Maurice Clifton, and he himself can explain all of the endeavors or all the hats that he have on. Go ahead, Mr. Clifton.
Hello, everybody. How y'all guys doing? I'm Maurice Clifton. Yeah, what's up, E? Long time no see, man. It's good to see you.
No doubt.
Yeah.
You too, brother.
Yeah, well, anyway, I got an organization that I started. It's called SAIL, Mississippi's Advocacy Initiative and Leadership. And what I do, I help people that are re-entering society from prison, state or federal. At first I started off, it was federal, but I've seen so many people in need coming out of the state prison here in Mississippi that, I try to give them clothes, and I just try to give them a edge on getting back, on reacclimating to society. I try to work with different companies here in Mississippi to try to find them jobs, and other states too, to help guys coming out find a job that fits their skill set that they obtained while they were in prison. I also try to work with the children of incarcerated kids. I do a lot of community work here in Mississippi, in my hometown, but hopefully I'll branch out to Ohio and Virginia and Washington, D.C. and Atlanta along with you, so I just want to partner with some people, who like-minded people and stuff, man, and it's an honor to be here. I served 23 years in federal prison as a first-time nonviolent drug offender, and so I was just released probably about 13 and a half months ago. So I'm happy to be here, man. James and I did some time together, man. Lisa is an awesome partner, and so she's a go-getter, man. I just think, all of us have a duty and a responsibility to educate people on what we went through while we were incarcerated, and to help those who are still incarcerated. And for us to stop thinking of past our incarcerated loved one, that's what we got to do. We got to take the blinders off. We got to take the blinders off and look at the totality of people incarcerated and see what we can do to help those people. But I'm looking forward to hearing from E, Eric, Mr. Sampson, and everybody else who's on the panel, man. So this is a platform for everybody's voice, and it's an honor to always be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we get started with Mr. Sampson, I want to also make a few other announcements. We cannot forget Dr. Carmen. You know, we want to continue to push her agenda. Sign her petition by signing her petition. If you don't know where it's at, you can go on my page. You can contact me, inbox me, whatever, inbox Lisa or Maurice, and we'll send it to you. We definitely need your help. We're not asking that you donate any funds. We're saying, hey, just sign the petition and share it. It's going to ask, change.org is going to ask if you want to donate some money to help the petition get pushed. Or you can just share it and it won't cost you anything. We ask that you share it. Please, we're not in opposition to change.org, but change.org does not help anybody on this platform other than the way that they're helping us by letting us do the petition. If you want to donate to them for their cause, hey, by all means do so. But I just want you to know that any proceeds that you donate does not go to Dr. Carmen in any form or fashion, so that we're all clear on that. So don't think that you're donating to her when you're hitting that donation of $8, $10, or whatever it is that change.org asks for. Again, we need the signatures, we need the support. If it was your loved one, I will be pushing and asking the same thing. So please, we can't leave no one behind. Next thing is, I want to say that our Reinvention Center, among all other organizations that's affiliated with the Reinvention Center, are considering having a day set aside for individuals that would like to promote their books or promote their businesses or do some type of promotion. There will be a donation required in order for you to do that. If you want more information on that, then contact one of us and we'll go from there. The growth hour is for education at this point here. And yes, we're going to have topics that our objective is to have topics that will relate to or help a person that's actually coming home from prison, or a family member that's dealing with someone in prison, or something of that nature there. But we will not leave out any topic. So if a person wants to have a topic that's not on course with that, by all means, contact us. But just know it's going to be on a different day, a different time, and it's going to be a donation required. So please, if you're interested in that, contact us, and then we'll set that up and go from there. The next thing I want to bring out to the ladies is that Miss Riley, amongst a lot of Sarah Jane and other phenomenal women, are in process of trying to start a women's group where it's not going to be broadcasted live, but it's going to be like a woman's, get it off my chest group. I would like to say it that way, instead of support, get it off my chest group, and a woman's building group where, if you have situations or something that you have went through, you can bring it to the group and y'all can chop it up and y'all can go from there. Again, it will not be publicized in any form or fashion. What happens in the group stays in the group. The only way a male will be in a group is if they're requested to be there, and maybe a topic or something where they may want, or you may want, a male's perspective at that point. That is the only way that a male will actually be involved with that group. So I want the ladies to know that your privacy, your confidentiality, amongst other things, will be our first priority, or their first priority, because I'm not going to be on there. Their first priority. We will be making more announcements on that when we get that solidified and get it more done. But we are looking to do that sometime in the near future. With that being said, we're going to jump into today's show. I would like to start off by introducing Miss Connie, who is a private investigator out of Colorado. And, again, we endorse her, we support her, and we recommend her to everybody if you need a private investigator. We do know from practical experience that when you pay your money, you're expecting a certain thing, and you don't always get what the level of your expectations met. So that being the case, we're trying to put people together that are going to go out of their way to try to meet your expectations and help you beyond your expectations. So this is why I am bringing her on the show. So regardless of where you are, if she can help you, she's going to help you. And I do tell you to reach out to her and encourage you to reach out to her. We have used her, and she's very efficient and very professional and very good at what she does. With that being said, I'm going to introduce Miss Connie and allow her to give you more information or background about herself and her contact information. How you doing, Miss Connie?
I'm good. Thank you very much for the
No
kind
problem.
words. And so just a little background on me. I actually worked in a prison for about 8 years as a teacher after I had my bachelor's in psychology. So I did a lot of cognitive behavior stuff, and then they started kind of going towards the normalization. So I was really all about that, and helped some of the guys start programs, fundraisers. We did a lot of fundraising for like Relay for Life, people that we had a parole officer's son who was hurt in an accident really bad. So we did a fundraiser for him and raised $11,000. And that was all the guys that were incarcerated, their money that they put towards the fundraiser. So I really just enjoyed that. And then I started, hearing some of their stories and really wanting to participate in helping, because a lot of them, it was hard to hear. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to do a lot of what I wanted to do while working there. So at the same time, I was working in community corrections, also doing groups and programs. And then I explored the at-risk, or the at-risk youth, the kids that would get arrested, and trying to mentor them, keep them from going back and continuing to get in trouble. And then I decided, I wanted to do more, because while I was doing that, I started working on some cases of guys that I had in class while I was working. And I just started uncovering a ton of different things that just didn't seem right. So I got my private investigator's license. I'm almost done with my master's in criminal justice and my paralegal. So what I basically do, I do some of the regular PI stuff, surveillance, but I really specialize in the post-conviction case investigations, where I get everything that that was involved in the case, from police reports to discovery, court transcripts, and I just reinvestigate the case. And a lot of times the families know, what happened and what's needed. And so then I focus on that. But a lot of it's, going out and talking to witnesses, getting sworn affidavits from people that maybe are recanting their statement. I look for I really dive into the misconduct, whether it's law enforcement, prosecution, constitutional violations. I look at the jury, and then I do a lot of research on case law and try to provide as much information and evidence that's going to their post-conviction motions, whether they're filing them pro se, whether they already have an attorney, but they are wanting somebody to get the information so that they can hand this report and the evidence to their attorney. But a lot of them don't have the money to hire an attorney, so they're doing it pro se while they're incarcerated. And this just gives them because it's hard for them to come out here and, do the things that they need to do sometimes. And when they're ready to submit their motion, they have this investigative report that I provide, that they can use with any affidavits or evidence, any case law that I might have found that they, want to use. I actually have started helping guys with their pro se motions also. So I do have some other paralegals and attorneys that I work with that we kind of all work together. So I go, you know, I do their investigative stuff. They help me with some of the legal stuff, and it's a really good a team. And so by the time, you know, we're ready to hand everything back to the client, they have a pretty solid either pro se motion to file with an investigative report on top of it. So that's pretty much the gist of it.
Okay, I appreciate that. I wanted to ask you a question or two. You mentioned that
Sure.
you have some paralegals and other staff that you work with. My question to you is, I know you do federal, so is it fair to ask that you do things outside of Colorado? So if someone needed some help with filing a brief or something like that, that you can assist them regardless of where they are, if it is a federal case?
You know, it's just really, it's a matter of research, and no matter where they are or what it entails, you know, states have different statutes and laws, and so does federal. So it mainly just comes down to researching it. And so, yes, absolutely. I have clients in Kansas, Texas, Arizona, Alabama, Ohio, and of course, Colorado that I work with. The staff that I work with, attorneys and paralegals, they do quite a bit of the federal stuff. So, but right now, I haven't had anybody reach out to me that is a federal case per se, but I would absolutely, the investigative part at least is very similar, you know, and it really is just a lot of research when it comes to, you know, the law and statutes and just doing your due diligence to find that kind of stuff. So.
Okay, well, definitely, it is a great service that you offer. With that being said, I ask that you provide your contact information and and so everybody know how to reach you. You know, we also
Sure.
have someone on the panel that's asking, would you be willing to help in Mississippi? I think I can answer that question for you, but I'm going to let you go ahead and answer.
Okay. Well, my phone number is 970-580-0779. And you can call anytime. If I don't answer, leave a message and I'll call you back, or you can text me. My email is hshinvestigation, not plural, @gmail.com. And I'm really bad with social media, and you know, my work, I go a lot off of word of mouth and talking to people and connecting. So when I did have a web page up, it seemed like I was paying money for something that I wasn't getting a bunch of traffic from. And it was way better for and way more profitable to basically let my work speak for itself and by word of mouth, because there are so many scams out there. People, it's really hard until you know, research it to know if you're getting somebody that's going to be in it for the right reasons and not the wrong reasons. So.
Okay, so I would like to repeat it because I'm putting it on the chat for everyone, and I'm hoping that Lisa will put it on Facebook because I don't have it up. But it's 970-580-0779, and you can be called if you're not asked. If you don't answer, you can leave a message or text.
Mhm.
And as far as your email is HSH investigation without the S or with S?
Without the S.
Okay. At gmail.com.
Yes.
HSH investigation at gmail.com.
Yep.
Okay. Well, wanted to, wrap it up kind of with you because I know you're at time restraints and you're driving the way you're driving. So I wanted to say that I definitely appreciate you taking your time out, even though you're in inclement weather, to be on the show. To advertise what your services are is always important to us, and people definitely need your services, and that's why, with myself, I say again, I definitely appreciate what you're doing. And I wanted to
Thank you.
get you out there, and I want to endorse you and get you out there because there's few people that are as passionate and sincere as you are. So we definitely, again, we appreciate you. Drive safe, and so for the audience, she offered investigative services, and if you need some legal help, regardless if you're federal, regardless of where you are, contact her at the information that is being provided online and on the chat. And I definitely appreciate you, Miss Connie.
Yes, thank you. And congratulations on your book. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if Miss Sarah's here. She may have. How you doing? I know this is unexpected, but what I would like for you to do, because the objective of the show today is to give people resources in different faucets. As we just stated, Miss Connie helps out with investigative work, and she helps out with helping people that may need an attorney or a paralegal, because sometimes paralegals are less expensive to draft the brief than it is to actually get an attorney. Some will say, hey, I want the attorney, but you need to know that the paralegal does to work for the attorney, so I'll keep that in mind. But with you, I wanted to bring in that mental health aspect, because when we come home, we have all types of problems. It can be PTSD or whatever it may be, and what I would like for you to do, if you don't mind, is give a brief background about yourself, introduce yourself, give some background about yourself and the services that you offer and how you can be contacted, because people definitely need the life coaching or the mentoring, however they would like to craft the words. They definitely need people like yourself when they come home to get them past that hump, get them over that mountain. So can you, with that being said, would you mind introducing yourself and giving us some history about you and contact information?
Sure. So I'm Sarah Scott. I grew up in New York, upstate New York. I am a dual diagnosis therapist, which means that I work with individuals that have co-occurring disorders, primarily addiction and mental health, but at the same time, sometimes complicated medical issues on top. So really, it's just complex individuals that have a lot going on. I'm now in Mississippi. I've been in Mississippi now for a year. I do have a nonprofit, the Parchment Project, and I don't want to call it counseling because I'm not at work. I do provide a lot of guidance to people, and I work with a lot of families who have incarcerated loved ones, or that have loved ones that are about to re-enter into society. And I just really provide guidance as far as hooking them up with the right resources, making sure that they have contact with mental health services in their area. And I will always provide any kind of guidance in the process, so that they're not just left hanging. I have helped a lot of people when they are about to leave, about to re-enter society. I've helped with interstate compacts and making sure that they're leaving Mississippi and going to back home, rather than getting lost, getting caught up in the state and not having any support when they get out. I can be reached at parchmentproject@gmail.com. My phone number is 585-443-0772. And like I said, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook. Again, I do have the Parchment Project page and group. You can find me under Sarah Jane on Facebook. It's SARAJANE. And thank you, Mr. Jones, for, talking a little bit about what Lisa and I have, been discussing. We want to be able to provide, it'll be a Zoom format, but it will not be recorded. Nothing will be, nothing will be available for anybody. It'll be a very safe, we actually do it often through work, having group now that COVID is, making telehealth more of a popular option. We do a lot of Zoom groups with our counseling sessions and things like that. So it is a very safe format platform to use. And I highly encourage anybody, any female out there, struggling with anything, whether it be you were incarcerated and you just need support, whether you've dealt with trauma, whether you have an incarcerated loved one and you just, like I said, just need that support. I'm really actually looking forward to it. So I'm looking forward to working more with Lisa but yeah.
I have a question for you because I know we don't speak on this topic, but I think, and I can be wrong, but I think that you cover this as well, or you can help people in this area. We have a lot of loved ones that's dealing with their family being incarcerated. That's not normal, So if someone needed to speak to someone in regards to dealing with or coping with that, is that a service that you offer as well?
Absolutely. I actually have participated in various support groups online, in Facebook as a mentor. So I have worked a lot with somebody who has an incarcerated loved one, and just, they're new to having somebody that's incarcerated. They don't know what's in store. They don't know, what to expect. So I do, and I actually do work with a lot of offenders as well. So I really, I guess you could say that I know the inside and the outside fairly well. And if I don't, then I usually know someone that has some answers. So.
Okay, well, we definitely appreciate you. And again, she's at the Parchment Project, and you can find that on Facebook and all other social media outlets. You can also contact her at 585-443-0772. It's posted on the chat as well as Facebook, So I'm glad that and I would like to piggyback off of something that you said, which would take us to our next speaker. You said that you deal with people on the inside, that have family members on the inside they're trying to deal with that, and you can kind of let them know what to expect considering that. Our next guest speaker is Mr. Eric Sampson, and he has a prison consulting business. And with his business, what he does is try to educate people on prison, and what you can expect and so forth and so forth. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to steal his thunder. I'm going to go ahead and allow him to introduce himself and give you more of a background of what it is about, introduce himself, give a background about himself and the business that he has, and then also give you his contact information. Good evening, Mr. Sampson. Eric, how you doing?
How you doing, everybody?
Thanks for coming.
I appreciate it. My name is Eric Sampson. I'm a prison consultant and an entrepreneur. And my prison consultant is to assist those that are currently incarcerated and the ones that are coming home to help them get acclimated back to society. And what I'm doing is trying to teach some type of financial literacy and literacy to the law. because I think if they have those two things, this curbs recidivism. It stops a lot of that repeat offending going back in there. And my whole thing was, after I was incarcerated and sentenced to a life sentence and served 25 years on that life sentence, it was a mental transformation that you had to go through. So I'm actually trying to catch those that are entering the system as well, because when you get in these lengthy sentences like that, mentally you go through something, and you're not going to be prepared for it, like the anxiety and all this that you're going to have. Nobody can stop that when you're entering the system. So I just want to get with people and let them know what they can expect from that aspect of it. And since I've been home, I've created several businesses, and I didn't even want to speak, because I'm the type of person that I don't want to speak unless I have something to offer somebody. You know what I mean? That's just how I am. So now that I've created these businesses and things like that, so those that are coming out of the system, we offer employment. I got affiliates that I'm actually entangled with, that we go out and do things in the community to get them reacclimated in that way as well. So that's where I'm coming from with it.
I appreciate you. What area are you in?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I also am involved in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where I'm originally from.
Okay. So if someone wanted to contact you, how would they be able to do that?
They can contact me by going on, and they can contact me by looking up the Plug Consulting Group, and all my information is on there. Plug Consulting Group. Just download that. Every service that I offer is on there.
Okay, so your phone number, your email, and all that stuff, all your contact information will be on that. The Plug Consulting Group.
Yes.
Okay.
But you can also, let me give my number out. You can contact me personally at 470-819-0645.
Okay, so it's let me type that down. I'm typing it while I'm talking to you, so everybody on the chat.
Okay.
But if anyone has some questions or needed your services, regardless of where they are, and I always say this to make it clear for everybody, but I already know the answers. Mm-hmm. You have no problem with them contacting you and going from there. Correct?
Not at all.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to add that you may think that you may have left out when you spoke on what your services and everything that you offer?
Yeah, I know we was on the topic of just the literacy program that we have to develop, because a lot of people that are in the system, they enter the system and they don't have, just the financial literacy, understanding what money is and what to do with money. They don't have the literacy of the law. They don't even know what they're facing. You know what I mean? So if you don't know what you're facing, you're bound to do anything. So I think we need to continue to just strengthen that development in that area. That's why your book is so vital to that. That was right on time. So I commend you on your book and everything that you're doing with that as well, because that was much needed.
I definitely appreciate you. Do know that now that things are opening up, that there's a lot of things that the Reinvention Center, Cell with SIPI, and other organizations are going to be trying to do as far as with summits, having, different summits, pulling people, different organizations, different businesses, giving different types of speeches and to the community. Do know that we will be reaching out to you to participate in some of those, if based on your availability, but I definitely want you to know that we will be doing that. For all everybody that has spoken at some point, we will be reaching out to you. And I have no problem coming where you are. So don't think that you always have to come to where I am. I have no problem coming to where you are. So because it's about spreading the word and getting the message out and helping people. So if we got to give a little sacrifice, hey, we got to give a little sacrifice. But I also wanted to say before we move forward that this is kind of slightly off topic, but on topic with everything that we're doing. I commend everybody and appreciate everybody coming on and giving the services that they give. And if we do these summits, we need to let everybody know that these things cost us. So we're not asking everybody to just give us your money, pile it on us, or do none of that stuff there. We're not asking that. But what we're going to do is try to meet you halfway by offering something to you in form of a rally, a raffle, or something like that. There may be some entertainment or something, and we ask that you participate in that. Nothing that's going to be costly, but you participate in that because the funds will be used solely to felicitate the things that we do to help others. If we need to go somewhere, come to your city, that's where those funds will be used for our traveling fees and stuff like that there. Also, the funds will be used to put toward the mentor groups that we want to start or other programs and things that we would like to start. If Miss Sarah Jane, if you call her and ask her for some assistance, and she gives it to you, the funds can be a way to lessen the blow of non-compensation for you contacting her and stuff like that there. So that's what the funds are for. Don't think that they're going in our pockets and that we're just buying big cars and big houses. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to keep these businesses running because there's a great need for them, and there's a lot of people that comes out and asks for help. But there's little people that's helping us with the finances to help us get it done. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining that, hey, this is where we at, and this is the reality. So please keep that in mind. And I think Lisa at the beginning of the show spoke on the actual raffle that she has going with the car wash. There will be more in the future. So regardless of where you are, you can benefit from the raffle. Maybe gift cards. If you depending on what area you're in, we may be offering some small businesses in areas that we are in to do. Offer some of their services. We want to do some, like I said, some virtual shows and stuff like that, for entertainment, and also I spoke on when you are wanting to advertise your books, your businesses, or whatever the case may be, depending on what it is. If it's something that helps people that are incarcerated or helps the people that are incarcerated loved ones, then hey, you're welcome on the Growth Hour. But if it's a self-motivated advertisement that you're seeking, something that only benefits you, then we have a day that we're going to set aside for you to advertise your business or advertise whatever you have for a donation. I personally had a gentleman reach out to me, or some people reach out to me, and I reached out to some people in regards to my book. I want to say from the start, we will not be charging what the average rate is, because we're just trying to help, but at the same time, keep afloat. So keep that in mind with, everybody that's watching to keep that in mind, that everybody that comes home from prison, I ain't gonna say everybody, because I'm not gonna make an absolute statement. A great amount of people that come home from prison look to different organizations for some form of help for their loved ones. Okay, those organizations it costs money to run them. Today, because of the pandemic, grants and all that stuff are not prevalent. I want you to know that they're not giving out grants because of the social distances and for whatever other reason. That being said, this is why we're doing what we're doing, and we need your support just like you need our help. And it's going to take a teamwork for order to make this dream work, as they say. With that being said, I would like to pass on the show to I'm sorry, Mr. Sampson. You have anything else you wanted to say before we move forward? I take it you don't. Then thank you for your conversation. I want to thank Ms. Holly because I see this is the first time that I've seen you, so it's the first time on the show. We want to welcome you and thank you and ask that you introduce yourself. And if you have an organization, so give us some background about yourself so everybody on the panel can know who the new family member is.
The new family member. My name is Holly Coleman. I'm justice impacted. I had a 21-month sentence. I did 13 months at a camp, 3 months in a halfway house, and I also did 2 months in solitary confinement for writing about women's safety at the camp while I was there, and it was punitive. So I've had a little bit of background about our government, and it was very eye-opening. It changed actually where I wanted to go and what my passion was, is to work with all of the wonderful women that I met and the life stories and everything that came with it, their lives, trying to make a difference, because moving out of prison, reentry for somebody like me, who's Caucasian, was much easier than it was for my Hispanic bunkie, all the different diversity we have, and it needs to be recognized. It was easier for me to get a job, and it was easier for me to access resources than it was to them. And it just has to stop. I am a paralegal. I went to work for my former criminal defense attorney, and now I work for the Dallas County Public Defender's Office. I work for the chief public defender. I am her lead paralegal. Also on the side, what I do is prison consulting. And a lot of people poo-poo on that, saying, you know, it's somebody trying to take money on somebody's woes. And that's not what I do. It's very minimal. If anything, it's usually a filing fee, and it's to help guide people from the beginning of this process all the way through the end. And when I say end, I mean even through a reentry. I see it with the public defender's office. We work with our community, have to start working with, you know, our state. I was on the federal side. I'm also on the state side. I help women understand, and their families. There's that family dynamic piece. A lot of women, mothers, a lot of single mothers, a lot of people coming back that need the resources that are taken away due to some of their charges that they have. So it's something that what I do is I work with a lot of our communities, our organizers, as well as, you know, we do faith-based, a lot of different faith-based, and trying to then also get in a foot in the door into the DC arena to where sentencing reform needs to happen. So I run a business called Pink Lady Prison Consultants. You can reach me at pinkladyprisonconsultants.com, and I can put that in the comment section.
Appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'll write it down, but I appreciate you.
And I'll wrap it up. My number is 940-365-6400. So that's a little bit about me and what I do.
Well, we definitely appreciate you doing what you're doing, because it definitely makes a difference. And we know from prior experience that the reason why we started these organizations or started these businesses, because there's a need for it.
Yes.
It's something that is not filled when we come home, you know, and that's what motivated me and inspired me to start what I started. I've got a lot of hats on, but, you know, I feel like there's a lot of things that needs to be done. But the hardest part is narrowing it down to one or two things that you pursue, because there's so many areas that need to be need a band-aid on it, you know. So that's why I love the fact that everybody comes on here and they bring different things, because we can all patch it all together. We can patch up whatever it is, and that's what my objective is. Thank you for do put your information, your contact information in the post. And is there anything else that you would like to speak on? You know, because this is not only the reinvention show, it's our show, you know, because, you know, we make it up. So if you have anything that you would like to say, then by all means do so.
I just say, keep doing this more and more. Don't let it fall off. You know, bring as many people as you can in. So I will share this with everybody that I know. I think it's super important to listen, and all the different resources. And Maurice, thank you. And thank you to you for inviting me on.
No problem. Thank you, Maurice. I definitely appreciate you. I'm going to pass this over to Lisa and Maurice now, because we're going to actually speak on my book. So I cannot host myself. You know, I can ask myself a bunch of questions, but then y'all may think I'm crazy. And then I'll be going to Sarah Jane's office next week. You know, but as we, you know, I'll start off by saying that as everybody know, I have officially published my first book, which is an actual step-by-step guide of the federal legal system. It helps from the time you get arrested to all the way to you're out, and even after you're out. There's 3 sections. And the first section is basically pretrial, when you're fighting your case, and discovery, choosing a lawyer, and it speaks on some of the things that Miss Connie spoke on before she left, and Miss Holly just spoke on, as far as, you know, different creative ways to get effective help when you're going to court. It speaks on different procedures, how you get your statements, how important PSI is, everything that you may encounter going through the federal system up until you get sentenced. It's a topic in there about it. Also, after you get sentenced, as far as making your notice of appeal, it's topics in there about it. Not only is there topics, there's actual rules in there, the statutes in there, there's sample motions in there, there's actual motions and stuff that's in there that has been successful and everything to show that, hey, this is a roadmap or a way that you can actually do this. I wanted to do it that way because I want people to be more enlightened to the system and know how to do it. It's in a layman's term. It's no big words. It's no, because we know law is Latin. So I wrote it in English, so everybody can understand it and put it in a position where if you can't understand, all you gotta do is just copy it and fill in the blanks, or just put your name here and go from there. The second part of the book is about the Bureau of Prisons. It's how where the actual main office of the BOP, which we call the regional office. It has its contact information and all that, and what its duties and roles are. It speaks on transferring, how you can go about transferring. It speaks on detainers, how you can get the BOP to file detainers for you. Again, the sample motion, sample form, the policies and procedures of the BOP in here, so you can cite that. If you have information in your PSI that is incorrect and you are in prison, it has a section in there that tells you how you can challenge that and how the BOP is obligated to send that back to the probation department that's handling yours and try to get those things changed. It's how all the way to how you get a supervised release early. It's a slew of things in there. The third part of it is resources afforded to you when you get out, how you can get the contact information on mental health, drug abuse, different organizations and stuff that you can contact that'll help you do that, housing, among other things. Two of the things that's in here that I feel like was important is I have a listing of all the vital statistic offices and DMV offices all over the United States. These are this way that when we're in, we can write and find out from the DMV aspect what it is that we are facing in order to get our license back once we're released. So I included all them addresses so you can go ahead and start that process while you're in. And that way, if you're in and you're making a couple extra dollars, you can pay a fine off, or you can write and show that you're incarcerated and say, hey, can they do something with you? And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. They may break it down because they understand you're incarcerated, you're coming home, you need your license and stuff like that. And
Hey, brother.
yes,
That's
sir.
enough, bro. Don't give them too much now. Buy the book. Tell them buy the book. You're going to tell them too much now.
Okay,
Oh,
brother, I
that's
sure
enough.
appreciate you. But it's a very helpful book. It's a very,
Yeah,
very,
it is.
very helpful
Okay.
book.
Anybody who's been incarcerated or anybody who is incarcerated and has a loved one incarcerated that has a grieving process because they spend a lot of money, at least I'm going to allow you to go first. But I already know it's a great book because I know that it came from a great guy. So, it wasn't, I want them to, you gave them enough to pique their interest as to even just